So Togo should be next. There cannot be any justification for Nyasingbe to continue to be in power under the watch of ECOWAS. Look, I think that ECOWAS has tolerated the situation of Togo much too much. You know what they did? In 2005, when Nyasingbe Eyadema died, they quickly installed Nyasingbe as president. Then it took Kufuor and Obasanjo to say, no, you cannot do that. They organize symbolic elections. If you go to places like Sakode, Buffalo, Mango, no ballot, nobody came there to in 2005. They declared elections from those places and said that Nyasingbe had won the elections. Nobody went there, no electoral officer went into those communities, and elections were declared. In 2005, up to date, Nyasingbe is still president of Togo, taking over from his father and probably grooming his children to come and take over from him. How do you tolerate such situation when ECOWAS is sitting down and not talking? African Union is comfortable with such situations. Go to Equatorial Guinea. The president has appointed his son as vice president, to which the son is the higher apparent, is the successor. The African Union is happy about that. You know the son. The son is the one that will go and jerry or curly the hair, right? And be in the nightclubs, just as Umar, was it Ali Bongo, was a rock star.
A rock star, yeah.
You understand? Messing up. You go and say that is the vice president. So the president and the vice president comes from the same bed. Not the same room, the same bed. We sat here. Macky Sall is engaged in madness. Macky Sall is engaged in madness.
Yeah, Senegal. Yeah.
You want to run for a third term, the opposition says no. You go around and use the judiciary to intimidate the judiciary, so much that you say Osman Sonko had gone to rape a lady. You went to court, you could not prove it. And the court turned around to say that Osman Sonko's actions were corrupting the youth, for which reason he must go to jail for 2 years. By the time he comes out of jail, the elections for which he was going to contest is over. That is not madness. The African Union cannot talk about Senegal. The ECOWAS cannot talk about Senegal. Then you have Alassane Ouattara, another mad one there, who came and said, look, his term, 2 terms had ended. Then he anointed people. Anytime he anointed and said, you are going to be my successor, Kwame, you die.
The person dies. Mysteriously.
Somehow, about 3 people that he anointed.
Then he will come back.
All of them died. Anytime he said, oh, you will succeed me. If it's this person, I will not contest. Then the person will die. The final one was, what's the name of this man? Koulibaly.
Koulibaly died mysteriously.
Koulibaly just woke up from the office. He couldn't get home. He died. Then after Koulibaly's death, the man said, I'm going to contest again. So can we say that you killed all those people that you claimed that they were going to succeed you, so that you can come back? And today he got a 3rd term. And all our presidents, in fact, Ghana's president went there to go and issue felicitations to congratulate him. That is madness. That is coup d'etat on the people of Cote d'Ivoire. As for Paul Biya, the least said about it, the man doesn't stay in Cameroon. Yeah. He's in Switzerland. He comes to Cameroon on National Day. He comes to Cameroon on Elections Day. And when he's coming, he cannot walk. They carry him. And then he will sit down with his grandchildren. Then they say, go and vote. He votes. When he finishes, they will carry him back to Switzerland whilst the elections are being counted. When the elections are declared, they bring him back to come and say he is sworn in as president. The African Union wants to be relevant in the face of all this kind of madness that is going on among African leaders. And these African leaders will have the temerity to come and sit at the AU and be talking.
I think ECOWAS is not really concerned about countries that don't have coups. I think ECOWAS doesn't really concern herself with countries that they are in good terms with, if I may put it that way. Because there are a lot of things going on in Africa that you would think that ECOWAS would take this as a priority. ECOWAS will look into these things. But no, ECOWAS won't look into it until a people decided that enough was enough and they are taking back their countries from those who have abused it. Then you will now hear ECOWAS putting on big man pants and start talking. If that doesn't happen, ECOWAS won't even say a single word. They won't. They would not. So if you ever thought that ECOWAS was out there really looking out for the common person, really taking their time to make sure that common people do not get mistreated, you are wrong. Because that's not what ECOWAS is out there doing. The Nyasimbe have been there for many, many years, and ECOWAS is not doing anything. What about the one in Cote d'Ivoire? That the person changed the constitution to allow him go in for the third term. They didn't do anything. What about Senegal? They didn't do anything. But when Niger said that enough was enough with the French, and that the French have taken enough and it's just high time they go. That was just it. ECOWAS under Tinubu came up and started shouting, putting sanctions, putting blockade, and so on and so forth. Even went as far as threatening Niger with military intervention. You see? So you begin to see the double standard in Africa. Like I have said it before, right? Until we, the Africans, realize that we must be our brother's keepers. We must make sure that we look after our fellow brothers and sisters. We must make sure that no matter what differences we have with each other, we will always rally against the foreigners. Until we Africans realize this, we won't go anywhere. We won't go anywhere. I have told you guys many times that I have been to many Asian countries and I have seen the unity among the Asians. They will never ever favor an African against a fellow Asian. Never ever. Never ever. They will never ever favor a person from Nigeria against their fellow citizen. It won't happen. Even if you're right or wrong, even if the person with whom you're talking with knows very well that you are right, they won't say in front of you and that person that you are right. They won't do that. They will always stand beside their fellow countrymen. Now, that might be wrong in terms of principles. We might agree to disagree on that. But the support for their people supersede any other thing because they believe that unity is strength. Now, they might go behind and talk to their fellow citizen and maybe blame him or condemn him, but they won't do that in front of you. Come to Africa, go to Nigeria. A Chinese person in Nigeria will have much more rights than you, the Nigerian. A Chinese person will lock you up in your own country, and the policemen will favor the Chinese against you. That is Africa for you, my brothers and sisters. That is Africa for you. A foreigner will come in, and that foreigner will have more rights than you in your own country. You will be shocked to see a policeman siding with the foreigner against a fellow citizen. That is Africa for you. So until we begin to change all these kind of poor ideas and mentality, believe me, my brothers and sisters, we will not go anywhere. Because if there is one policy that has been very, very effective, is the divide and rule. Divide them and conquer all of them. Because if they unite, conquering them will be way more difficult. But if you could just split them apart, if you could just pit them against each other, if you could just set confusion and keep them busy in fighting, you will easily conquer every single one of them. Africans, we have to learn. We have to educate each other. We have to look out for each other. We must understand that only through unity we can ever stand. ECOWAS should be looking out for the people in West Africa. ECOWAS should be looking out for the people in Africa as a whole. If Niger is fighting its neighbors, ECOWAS can come in and punish Niger. If Niger is trying to push out the Westerners who have been exploiting the country, shouldn't ECOWAS be grateful for Niger? Isn't this but very simple? Shouldn't ECOWAS sided with Niger for doing something in favor of local Nigerians? Doesn't ECOWAS know this by now, that Niger is being exploited by France? Niger has a lot of things that France is taking away from the country, and France is not giving anything in return. And by so doing, the people in Niger are suffering. Doesn't ECOWAS know about all this? Tinubu has been a politician. Doesn't he know about the problems that African countries are facing? Doesn't he know? Or he just care only about his own political career and let the people be whatever they want to be? We need patriotic leaders in Africa. We need Pan-Africanists in Africa. We need people with the African spirit at heart. We need people who are going to stand and defend the African continent. We need people who are going to see something going wrong and say, hey, this has got to stop. This cannot keep on going. We need people who will put Africa first. Not people like Tinubu who are willing to sell out Africa to the West. Not people like Tinubu who are willing to say whatever they want to say just so they can get favor with foreigners. Not politicians who put themselves first against the interests of the entire people. But you guys out there, what is your take on this whole issue in Africa? Don't you think that it's high time that we Africans unite? Don't you think that if we are united as a single people, we will be very strong, and by so doing, we can really protect ourselves? Don't you think that a divided people never stand a chance of progressing or even defending themselves? And lastly, what is it going to take for us, the Africans, to realize that we need to put Africa first? We need to put the people first before any other thing. Share your thoughts and opinions with us in the comment section below, because like always, we love hearing what you have to say. And also, do not forget to like this video, share this video, follow our Facebook page, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel, because little bit of good will, like the one you're doing just now, help us a lot, and we shall forever be grateful to you. So thank you very much for doing just that. And like always, see you in the next one.